Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia of California. He's the ranking member of the Oversight Committee, and I think it's safe to say someone is not afraid of a few questions from some reporters.
No, he is not, and it is good to have you back at the table, Congressman. Look, the FBI said, they have to investigate Times reporters. They have to. It's because they're being driven by the Mad King, the White House, with his little Muppet puppet sitting over there at Department of Justice. As I've said before, you've heard me say it. The FBI can go out and investigate everything, but the DOJ has to have the evidence to bring a case. And so the investigation piece, whether we're talking about this or other things, is one aspect. What has to ultimately happen is you got to bring facts and law together and put it in front of a judge or a jury. That's not the play here, though. They're doing this as part of intimidation. They're doing all of this to set up, as we said earlier, what's going to happen in November, to use these things to excuse taking the election in 26. I put all this out here, Congressman, to say this, and you've heard, you and I've talked, and I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. Y'all in a good seat. Y'all Democrats are in a very good space. Y'all don't need to worry about this. Just sit back, grin and bear the stupid that's coming from my party. The leadership is whacked out right now. They don't know their head from a hole in the ground or any other hole. And the reality for them is voters are going to remind them who's in charge. Right? So come January, when you are handed the gavel, then you can begin to pull those threads together, collecting the receipts you need to do right now, and just drop that ish right there on the table and go, okay, I need you, and everyone else associated with you to show your behind up in front of this committee, and we're going to have a conversation about Epstein. We're going to have a conversation about the grift, how much money you've stolen from the American people with this fraudulent programs and expenditures. We're going to have a conversation about all of it. How do you see, does that make sense? Or am I just kind of, sitting out here just being the strategist chairman who's trying to figure out how to keep the country from falling apart?
It makes sense. I mean, obviously, come November next year when we win the majority, because we are going to win and we're going to fight like hell to ensure it happens. Folks like Kash Patel, like Stephen Miller, all the folks involved with Jeffrey Epstein, folks that are causing harm, breaking the Constitution, trying to essentially create this authoritarian state where Donald Trump is the ultimate ruler, they will all be held accountable. It's not enough just to have a forward-looking vision, which we will have. The accountability piece is important. Yeah. When we're out and town halls talking to folks, people want accountability. We want a forward-looking agenda, but we've got to tell the country that these people are corrupt, that they're the most corrupt administration in history. What you just reported on with Kash Patel, that is crazy. It's intimidation of the press. It's Donald Trump going after his political enemies. It's creating a state where Donald Trump can do whatever he wants, where the DOJ is responsive only to him, where the courts follow what he wants in this country. We have to end that, and there has to be accountability.
The vision you lay out of what oversight will look like under Democrats is in sharp contrast to what we're seeing from Republicans. I've been doing some light reading in the form of this memo that you issued on the 17th. I had not realized that oversight Republicans have effectively absconded on this idea of having real hearings and are doing roundtables. Can you help us understand why they are doing that and why they are doing that now?
In the 3 years that I've been in Congress, we have not held oversight committee, full committee roundtables. This is very rare practice for a full committee. Other committees in the Congress, full committees, are not doing this. But we have had multiple roundtables where we are no longer having hearings in oversight over the last few weeks. I wonder why. We've issued 18 bipartisan subpoenas that Democrats have forced on Republicans. We've gotten the Epstein files. We've gotten the Epstein estate. We're getting critical information. And now we're demanding Pam Bondi come in for her deposition. And all of a sudden, House Republicans, oversight, we hear the White House and the Speaker are essentially scared of oversight Democrats and our success in forcing these fights. And so they're now creating these fake hearings where you can't make motions, you can't file subpoenas, there's no rules for debate, and you can't even call a witness. The minority can't even call an actual witness. And so this is outrageous. Even some Republicans are actually calling this out. We're going to continue to remind the American people that Republicans are about corruption and the cover-up.
So if you can't do any of that, what do? Sit around and braid each other's hair? Like, what's the point?
Well, we don't show up. I told Chairman Comer at the last roundtable that he started that we're not going to participate in that BS. We're not going to waste our time. We're not wasting the public's time. So we walked out. We're not participating in these fake hearings that are essentially branded as roundtables. Let's get hearings back. Let's actually do the people's business.
I think that people out there are probably excited or relieved, frankly, to hear you say that, Congressman, because you're just speaking so clearly and plainly, and I do think that is what is required at this moment. We don't need talking points. So. We just need, tell us what y'all gonna do so we can ask about it. I want to go back to the point Michael Steele was making at the top of this with you, because I take Michael's point. You know, like, usually he's raining on the parade, but today he's like, it's all right, it's going to be good. Democrats about to take back the House. Y'all in a good seat. But let me tell you, I'm concerned. And people that watch this show know I'm always concerned. I am concerned about the fact about all the things that can happen in between now and if and when you all get the gavel. Because today we're learning about the Times reporter being investigated for her reporting. We also yesterday got the news about the Southern Poverty Law Center. They were issued an 11-count indictment because apparently they're saying the government is alleging that they have committed wire fraud. We had a lawyer here just yesterday that said that is not on the up and up from the government, but this prosecution might have legs. This is straight out of J. Edgar Hoover's FBI, where when he, and it's just not me saying that, Senator Durbin said this today about Todd Blanche and Kash Patel, and noted that they're trying to turn the clock back to the infamous days of J. Edgar Hoover targeting Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders. If they're going to do these things to a 55-year-old civil rights organization and a storied reporter, I'm also concerned about what they could do and are currently doing to regular Americans. You know, ICE is still kicking down the doors of folks' homes all across this country. Like the FBI, who else are they investigating that we don't know about? So I understand the accountability for the big things. What about the accountability for things that might seem smaller, for lack of a better term, that don't make the front pages of the New York Times, but are just as important?
Well, and that's why I think it's so important that not only do we have accountability in the future, that we have to fight every fight right now. We can't just wait to win the election. They're going to try to actually cause havoc in the election. They're going to probably post ICE agents outside of polling places. They're going to try to get people to roll back their ability to vote by mail. So we should expect a war zone. We should expect Republicans trying to create all sorts of problems as it relates to what they've already done in American cities. They've tried to create chaos. They've tried to put law enforcement against communities. We've got to ensure that we are serious and responsible about what happens in November at the ballot box, but to fight every single day up until then. We've got to take every issue on. What's happened with the Southern Poverty Law Center is horrific, and they're going after all sorts of nonprofits across this country. For us, as Democrats, we don't control any lever of government or the majority. That doesn't mean we've got to call every single issue out, get the courts involved, fight like hell in hearings, fight in committees, use our ability to communicate directly with the American public, because right now, the American public has turned on Donald Trump. He has the lowest approval rating he's ever had his entire presidency, I think including both of his presidencies. And that collapse of his support, because we're fighting him on Epstein, we're fighting him on ICE, we're fighting him on trying to spy on Americans illegally, that's going to help us move the independents and base to support doing the right thing.
Well, one other thing you need to put a pin in America, we're going to put that pin in for you, is the effort that's quietly underway to give Ms. Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon. So stay tuned for that, because it's in the works, folks. Trust me. Congressman Robert Garcia, thank you so much. Up next, RFK Jr.